Well, the Marvel's torn apart by terrible reviews, director, etc. Blade is undergoing huge changes and was in one script, with it now confirmed by Variety, was a female-led script with life lessons. Relegated to a fourth lead. Wow. So this is an article over on Variety. It's a very interesting read, actually, ladies and gents. So we're going to take a look at this. Crisis at Marvel, Jonathan Majors' backup plans, The Marvels reshoots. Apparently that wasn't happening, although we all reported on it. Reviving original Avengers and more issues revealed. Well, shall we have a look at this, ladies and gents? Because this absolutely tears Marvel a new one. Especially about Blade. I've been saying that film's a joke forever. So this past September, a group of Marvel creatives, including studio chief Kevin Feige, assembled in Palm Springs for the studio's annual retreat. Most years, the vibe would have been confident, even cocky, given how the premier superhero brand owned by Disney since 2009 has remade the entertainment industry in its image. But this occasion, it was angst-ridden. Everyone at Marvel was reeling from a series of disappointments on screen. A legal scandal involving one of its biggest stars, Jonathan Majors, and questions about the viability of the studio's ambitious strategies to extend the brand beyond movies into streaming. The most pressing issue to be discussed at the retreat was what to do about Jonathan Majors. So the actor, who had been poised to carry the next phase of Marvel Cinematic Universe, but instead is headed to a high-profile trial in New York later this month, so like 2 weeks I think, on domestic violence charges. The actor insists he's the victim, but the damage to his reputation and the chance he could lose the case has forced Marvel to reconsider its plans to centre the next phase of its interlocking slate of sequels, spin-offs and series around Jonathan Majors' villainous Kang. So that's interesting. But it gets more. It gets worse. At the gathering in Palm Springs, executives discussed backup plans, including pivoting to another comic book adversary like Doctor Doom, but making any shift would carry its own headaches. Majors was already a big presence in the MCU, including as the scene-stealing antagonist in February's Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and he's been positioned as the franchise's next big thing in this season of Loki, particularly in the finale, which airs on November 9th, and sets up Kang as the titular star of the fourth Avengers film. Well, you just shouldn't have done it to begin with. But here we go, right? So deal makers and things. Marvel is truly fucked with the whole Kang angle, says one top deal maker who's seen the final Loki episode. And they haven't had an opportunity to rewrite until very recently because of the WGA strike, but I don't see a path to how they move forward with him. So, I guess, this is the Marvel stuff. It's so funny. This whole article's hilarious. Beyond the bad press for Majors, the brain trust at Marvel is also grappling with the November release of The Marvels, a sequel to 2019's blockbuster Captain Marvel that has been plagued with lengthy reshoots. What, like the ones we were reporting on and were told by everyone in the comment section was complete nonsense? And now appears likely to underwhelm at the box office. This is all an unprecedented turn of fortune for a company that has enjoyed a nearly uninterrupted string of hits ever since it started independently producing its movies, with 2008's Iron Man. That wildly profitable run culminated in the $2.8 billion success of 2019's Avengers Endgame, a high watermark for the studio that has earned nearly $30 billion over 32 films. Oh god, so funny. So replicating that kind of phenomenon is never easy. However, the source of Marvel's current troubles can be traced back to 2020. That's when they're going to blame COVID. The COVID pandemic happened. What? Ushered in a mandate to boost Disney's stock price with an endless torrent of interconnected Marvel content for Disney Plus. They're going to blame that. Oh my god. But the ensuing tsunami of spandex proved to be too much. So basically they're trying to blame too much stuff. No. This is what you don't... This company just doesn't understand. They don't understand. But here we go. The Marvel machine was pumping out a lot of content. Did it get to a point where there was just too much and they were burning people out on superheroes? It's possible, says a Wall Street analyst. The more you do, the tougher it is to maintain quality. They tried experimenting with breaking in some new characters like Shang-Chi and Eternals with mixed results. With budgets as big as these, you need home runs. You need characters that people like. The Marvels, which opens in theatres November 10th, will struggle to get the ball past the infield, at least by Marvel's outside standards. This movie will struggle to do $100 million domestic. The movie, which cost $250 million and sees Brie Larson reprising her role as Captain Marvel, is tracking to open to $75 million to $80 million, far below the $185 million Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness took in domestically in its debut weekend. It's actually 40 to 70, so they're way off base. But check this out, right? Directed by Near DaCosta of the Marvels, blah blah blah. This movie resulted in 4 weeks of reshoots to bring coherence to a tangled storyline. That should have been done in script phase. Then eyebrows were raised again when DaCosta began working on another film while the Marvels was still in post-production, so the director was done. The filmmaker moved to London earlier this year to begin prepping for her Tessa Thompson drama, Header. If you're directing a $250 million movie, it's kind of weird for the director to leave with a few months to go. Yeah. The Marvels has seen its release date move twice. Once to swap place with Quantumania, which is deemed further along, and again when its debut shifted from July to November to give the filmmakers more time to tinker, like we all said. So this vindicates everyone that's been doing videos on this stuff. But that extra time didn't necessarily help. This has been the same anyway, because in June, they haven't changed this by the way, June, Marvel, which traditionally only solicits feedback from Disney employees and their friends and families, took the uncharacteristic step of holding a public test screening in Texas. The audience gave the film middling reviews. That's how I know what happened in this film, which corresponded to apparently Reddit and 4chan leaks. So they literally didn't change anything. But Marvel has never been in the business of being average. Kevin's real superpower, his genius, has always been in post-production and getting his hands on movies and making sure that they finish strongly. Unbelievable. These days he's spread thin. Feige declined to comment for this story. Yeah, I bet he did. CGI, Quantumania was ripped apart. People just tearing it apart. Like, it was insane. I've never seen something like that in my entire career. Everyone was talking about it. Even the kids of executives were talking about it. Yeah, that's because Quantumania had dog shit CGI. And it's embarrassing. But it gets worse, because then we learn about Blade, by the way. We talk about VFX and things like that. 2023 was the straw that broke the camel's back. Quantumania premiere debacle. Victoria Alonso got fired as a result of it as well. She-Hulk VFX issues as a symptom of a deeper rot, namely a lack of oversight on script development. In the original arc of She-Hulk, a flashback of Tatiana Maslany's transformation into her Hulk character didn't take place until episode 8, the penultimate episode. But after Marvel's Brain Trust watched footage, it realised the scene needed to happen in the pilot so that audiences could see more of the character's backstory early. So the VFX team was tasked with fixing the mess in post-production. Why can't you get your scripts right? The so-called bad VFX we see was because of half-baked scripts, says one person involved with She-Hulk. That is not Victoria, that is Kevin. And even above Kevin, those issues should be addressed in pre-production. Yes, they absolutely should. Why is that difficult to understand? It's so bizarre. So bizarre. But here we go. I love this stuff. As public criticism mounts, Feige is pulling the plug on scripts and projects that aren't working. Case in point, the Blade reboot, with Mahershala Ali signed on for the eponymous role of a vampire. Things look promising for a 2023 release date, but the project has gone through at least 5 rewrites, 2 directors, and 1 shutdown 6 weeks before production. One person familiar with the script permutation says the story at one point morphed into a narrative led by women and filled with life lessons. Blade was relegated to the 4th lead. A bizarre idea, considering the studio had 2-time Oscar winner Ali on board. Yeah. And doesn't that correspond to what we all leaked? Saying it was going to be about his daughter and he was going to be binned off? There's going to be passing of the torch? Oh, yes, it does. Ye of little faith, guys. Amid reports that Ali was ready to exit over script. This is what Disney does anyway. This is textbook Disney. They call a series or a movie something, and then it's not even about that character. Fucking what is going on? Amid reports that Ali was ready to exit over script issues, Feige went back to the drawing board and hired Michael Green, the Oscar-nominated writer of Logan, to start anew. Speculation around town is that the studio is looking to make the film, now slated for 2025, on a budget of less than $100 million, deviation from Marvel's big spending strategy. Wow. I mean, this is quite crazy. Quite crazy. Now, they also say they're trying to bring the original gang for an Avengers movie. Trying to, anyway. Sources say there have been talks to bring back the original Avengers for an original Avengers movie. This would include reviving Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man and Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, both of whom were killed off in Endgame. So there you go. They're literally just clutching at straws. But the studio hasn't yet committed to the idea. If it were able to bring those actors back, it wouldn't come cheap. Sources say Downey Jr.'s upfront salary for Iron Man 3 was around $25 million. Wow. Wow. I mean, this is just... It just tears them apart. It absolutely rips them a new one. There's not much... There's some interesting stuff in this, but, I mean, it's just crazy. They've really destroyed themselves and their credibility. I mean, the very fact that they were going to have Mahershala Ali, a fourth lead in a Blade movie, fourth lead, a narrative led by women filled with life lessons. No one's watching a Blade movie for that. Kevin Feige, you raging dipshit. And the Marvels, yeah, absolutely wrecked. Leave your thoughts down below. Take care. Bye-bye now.